Hey guys, Teacher Amy here, and I wanted to talk to you about online teaching. There are so many options when it comes to choosing a school or a company to teach with online. Me personally, I have previously worked for 6 different online companies. I've previously worked for EF, Education First, VIP Kid, Dada ABC, GoGo Kid, Magic Ears, and BlingABC. And in today's video, I wanted to talk to you about why BlingABC is totally my favorite online company to work for. I love BlingABC. Why did I choose BlingABC? Reason number 1, the pay. The pay is higher than any other online company I've worked for, hands down. When I first signed with BlingABC, I was already earning 30% more than Dada was offering. And in fact, when I started with BlingABC, I was already earning more than the absolute highest salary or wage that Dada ABC even offered. So if I had stayed with Dada ABC for who knows how long, how many years it would take to reach their top cap salary, with BlingABC, I was already making more than that top capped salary with Dada ABC. So that's awesome. And so from the very beginning, I was making anywhere between $27 to $40.50 per hour. No joke. Now that depends on the classes you're teaching, but even my base pay with no bonuses added, I was already earning more than any other company I had worked with. So even just my base pay, without any of the bonuses, I was earning $24 an hour. And now since my most recent raise, I'm earning even more than that. So the potential, the sheer amount that you can earn is so much higher than other companies, and you have room for growth. There's potential for growth within the company too, which is super cool. Reason number 2, consistency. BlingABC is based on terms, much like a regular school. So there's a spring academic term and a fall academic term, and then summer and winter are shorter, but they're also their own terms. So because it's based on terms, you get to keep the same students throughout the whole term, which means you have consistent lessons for several months, which is awesome. When I first signed up with VIP Kid, I was actually getting booked quite a lot, but then I took a break for a little while because I had a full-time job that I needed to focus on and really terrible internet. So I took a break for a while, and when I tried to keep going with VIP Kid, I had a really hard time getting bookings. I waited for months and months and months. So consistency was really important to me. I wanted to know for sure that I would have that regular income and be able to plan for it. So consistency, much, much better with BlingABC. And I really like getting to see my students over and over and over again. When I was teaching with VIP Kid, or even occasionally with GoGo Kid, I was getting, new students, random students all the time. And so it was more difficult to have, to see my students more than once. And I really, really enjoy that. I love seeing the growth. You get to know the students, you have a rapport with them. And that is just way, way more fun for me. Reason number 3. The company itself is very professional. All of the staff that I met at BlingABC when I went through my interview process and my training were just so warm and genuine, and they really care about their teachers and are respectful of their teachers. And that was a huge contrast to some of the other companies I had worked for. Many of the online companies out there, they treat you like a number. The communication is terrible. They don't get back to you when you have a question. But BlingABC, every single person that I interacted with, my interviewer, she did a great job at putting me at ease. It was a very mellow interview. The training that they gave me before I started teaching, it was very professional. I have a background in teaching, so I know the difference. And the training was very professional, and actually gave me some really useful tips for using their platform. So that was awesome. So really every step of the process, I felt supported and I felt respected, and they really treated me like a person. And I thought that was awesome, and in huge contrast to some of the other companies I've worked for. And related to that, I also really like their whole system is based on incentives, not penalties. So I really like that a lot. For example, the attendance bonus. If you have full attendance for a whole month, you get a very generous bonus in addition to your base pay. Now, if you have to miss a class for some reason, it's okay. You're not going to immediately get fired, and you will lose your attendance bonus, which kind of sucks, but there's no additional penalty. There's no fine. Some of these companies have very large fines if you miss a class or if you miss too many classes, and it can really hurt you if there's a real emergency or an issue. Now, I love the incentive program so much with Bling that I have had full attendance for 9 straight months, because that incentive is worth a lot to me. It's valuable to me, and I don't want to lose it. So I just really like that their philosophy is focused way more on incentives than on penalties. And that's a huge contrast to some other companies. Reason number 4. The format, the platform itself. I really like that the classes are 3-on-1 instead of 1-on-1. Now, there are a lot of reasons for that, but for me personally, as an actual classroom teacher, these classes are so much more dynamic and interesting. There's just more going on. Now, with previous companies, I've had some really great classes with one-on-one students. If your student is engaged and interested and learning very fast, some of those one-on-one lessons can be awesome. I had some really good lessons with one-on-one format. But if a student doesn't understand you, they have no English at all, they are starting from scratch, the bare minimum, you are just repeating stuff back and forth, repeat, and man, do those lessons ever get boring. I found this lesson so tedious. Even if the student's trying, it's not their fault. It's just, I'm a professional teacher. Any native speaker can just repeat words over and over and over again. I'm overqualified for that, frankly, and I just found it so tedious and boring. Whereas the 3-on-1 classes, they're so much more dynamic. So the students are not only interacting with you, but they're interacting with each other. They're talking to each other, and they can be examples for each other, which is so cool. So, for example, if you have a student who just is not getting it, and if another student does understand, you can pull them down. They can model it for the student who doesn't understand, and then they're like, oh, I get it, and then they're able to do it. So there's so much more interaction going on, and it's just a more dynamic class. It's so much more fun, and so the time goes by so much faster, which I really appreciate. You're not just constantly looking at the clock like, oh God, when is this lesson going to be over? A 30-minute lesson can seem like forever if you're in one of these just repeat kind of lessons. So I like that about BlingABC so much. Reason number 5, the curriculum. The curriculum is so much better. BlingABC is organized much more like a regular school. It's less about, infotainment or edutainment, which you see in a lot of these other companies where they just want you to be, a clown and make the children laugh. And I am constantly interacting with my kids and trying to make them laugh, and we exchange a lot of positive energy, and I have a great time with my kids. But it really is more focused on the actual material, which I definitely prefer. And because of that, the curriculum is really good. It's a lot more intuitive and natural for language learning. You start with words and vocabulary, matching to pictures, and then phrases and sentences and questions that build to conversations. So it's just a more natural sort of fluid way of learning a language, and it's very intuitive. It makes a lot of sense. It also keeps a steady pattern, so it's so much easier for the teachers to learn. Once you've got the pattern down, each lesson is pretty easy to just jump right in without a lot of prep work, which we're not getting paid for, so that's another big plus. And it also helps the students because they know what to expect. They understand what each section is, and it's largely following the same pattern, just with different material, with a different theme each lesson. So I really like that about it. I also really, really like the platform itself. BlingABC uses ClassIn, which is a very dynamic platform. You can do a lot of things with it. You can pull students down into the classroom area. You can move the presentation. You can shrink it. You can grow it. You can write all over the screen with many different kinds of pen, thick, thin. You can change the color, so many choices of color. You can type on the screen in different sized fonts. I mean, the amount of control you have is really remarkable. You can mute students if there's a lot of background noise. So you really have a tremendous amount of control as a teacher, which I really, really like. A lot of the other platforms I've worked for, they might have, some of these things, but I've never found all of these features in one platform. So I really like that a lot. Highly recommend the platform. Gives you a lot of control as a teacher, and it makes the class a lot more interactive. You have things for the students to do besides just sit and listen to you talk. So I've told you the reasons why I really like BlingABC and why I'd highly recommend them. Now here is who should not work for BlingABC. I highly recommend do not bother applying if you don't meet the requirements. I've had a lot of people ask me a whole bunch of questions about the company, and then I learned they don't meet the basic requirements. Okay, so what are the basic requirements? You do have to be a native speaker. You do not have to be from the United States, but you do have to be a native speaker, so from any English-speaking country. And you do need to have a degree. To be paying this much, of course, they want to advertise that all of their teachers have degrees. So if you don't have a degree, don't apply. You will not get an interview. If you are not from one of these native speaking countries, you will not get an interview. So don't waste your time. Make sure you meet the requirements. Number 2, if flexibility is your biggest concern, do not apply to BlingABC. I see a lot of people on the message boards asking this question. Now, if you want to be able to book a class last minute or cancel a class last minute and just willy-nilly change your schedule, different every day, different every week, this is not the company for you. They really want you to be consistent and to stay and stick with the students. So if flexibility is your biggest priority, don't even apply. It's not a good fit for you. And I would just say generally, for those of you looking into online teaching, it is not realistic to expect to get paid this high a wage when you can just not show up for work whenever you want. Okay, so just keep that in mind, a little perspective. If you really want to get the higher paying wage, they need to know they can rely on you. Okay, so if flexibility is your biggest priority, don't apply. It's definitely not a good fit for you. And number 3, if your internet sucks, don't apply for BlingABC, because the ClassIn platform, it doesn't use a tremendous amount of bandwidth, but some of the classes are quite big. The reason BlingABC can offer so much more than other companies is because they have more students in each class. And so they can pass some of that profit on to the teachers, which is awesome. It makes the class more fun for me, the more students I have to interact with, and I get paid more. It's a win-win. But if there are more students in the classroom, that means more bandwidth is being used. You have multiple videos going on, and you're moving them all over the place, writing on them. So you really need to have a strong, fast, reliable internet connection to do this job. And if you don't even bother applying because it will not work right for you, especially the big group classes. Okay, so that's my honest review of BlingABC. I think it's a great company. I highly recommend working for them. If you're interested in applying, I'd be more than happy to walk you through the onboarding process. I'm going to put a link in the description with BlingABC's frequently asked questions, just the basics of the company. Please read that first before contacting me. I frequently get asked a lot of questions that are already available online. So please check that out first. And then if you have any other questions about Bling or want some help applying, by all means, email me at the email address below, and I would be delighted to help you because they really are a fantastic company. I couldn't recommend them more highly. Whether you choose BlingABC or some other company, best of luck to all of you on your online journey, and I will see you next time. Bye, everyone.